In the following series of interview clips, Rachana Pant, the principal of Ramjas School, outlines her thoughts about improving a school by leading and overcoming barriers to change, accounting for equality and diversity, transforming beliefs and values, and bringing parents on board.
The principal is supposed to be the head leader of the school. The main focus, it is two basic things are to be done by the principal. One is to look at the academics and the other is to look at the administrative part. Now in the academic part, that is the examinations, the timetabling, the allocation of co-curricular activities, having tests at regular intervals, having a PTA, parent-teacher meeting, having meeting with the parent representative body, and at the same time organizing annual functions. These are the things that is done. Along with it, another major component in the academic field is staff development program. So there are various workshops and seminars that are organized, and there are a few for the parents and for the children as well. So academic is one, is examination, teaching, that is one part. Second is co-curricular activities. Third part one looks at is the sports, and then it is workshops and seminars, which are divided into three basic parts. One is for the teachers, the other is for the parents, and that is parenting sessions, and the third is for the students. So this is the academic area. The other is the administrative. Here you have a lot of subordinate staff and the people who take care of the cleanliness of the school, the budgeting of the school, and these are the various other things. Seeing the infrastructure of the school, cleanliness of the school, cleanliness and hygiene, where the water is sort of adequate and appropriate for the child to drink. These are the things that is. So basically the safety measures that are required in a school for the children is the admin part, and that also has to be taken care of by the principal with a group of staff members. That is how it is. The government, that is the CBSE board, implemented a new scheme, and that is called the CCE scheme, the Continuous Comprehensive Evaluation Scheme. This was basically for class 9th and 10th. It came within a year's time, so the teachers were not adequately prepared. The parents were sort of dragging their feet because the old system was what they were used to and they were comfortable, so they were in their comfort zone. And the children also did not know as to which way this new change will take them. So this was and whether we like it or not, this had to be implemented. So this was one change. So what we did was, first of all, I tried to have workshop for my teachers. Conducted it myself, got people from outside to conduct it, so that the teachers are aware and they know what is expected of them. Second was to apprise the parents of the new change. That also we did in piecemeals, in smaller groups, so that the parents, an interactive session could take place, they could ask questions, we could go back to the CBSE, clarify certain apprehensions that the parents had, come back again and give them a feedback again. That was the second. The third was I conducted a little sort of talk and workshop for my students, so that the students now know that it is not one or just two exams at the end of the year, but this is going to be, they are going to be assessed continuously. So this is going to be a major change, and all the exams may not be just pen and paper exam. It can, the evaluation will be based on projects, on their homework, on their classwork, on their interaction, on co-curricular activities, on sports. So it is a holistic, evaluation of a child rather than just a pen and paper event. So this is how we went about this change. There were two basic barriers. One was that the teachers had to be trained, a lot before they could do it. It was going at a very fast speed. And so the teachers had to be sort of inducted into it, they had to be trained. There was a lot of paperwork. We in India, by and large, do a lot of work, but it is not documented that way. This process required a lot of documentation. So they had to be, so when a teacher who is 15, 20 years old in the school, with 20, 25 years of teaching experience, doing in a particular way, you ask the teacher to document everything and assess. It is a great shift. And that was a major area where we had to actually work on it. The strategy that I took was, first of all, I had a series of workshops. Then what I did, I tried to weave the co-curricular activities into the academics so that the teachers felt, it was a little game that I played, they felt that actually it is a theatre, or it is a recitation, or it is, sort of presenting a paper in the assembly, but all this was actually going into their continuous evaluation. So prepared a complete annual planner. And in this planner, we planned more than 30 activities. And each activity could be used as an assessment for the child. So what happened? The teacher didn't feel intimidated. So that was one thing that actually worked well. And the other thing that I did was, it was a big cumbersome booklet that the CBSE had given. And to expect that all the teachers will read it, assimilate things and do this, they were saying, should we work on the process? Should we read this? It's becoming too much. So I took an onus on myself, read the whole thing, made a synopsis of it, devised and planned a diary. I made a teacher's diary, comprehensive diary, in which just 7-8 key bullet points under each category was listed, and the teachers had to assess only on that. Even basic remarks were given to them, which was fed in the computer, so that generally if you give a certain grade, this would be the the remark that will come. If you want to change, you may change, but they felt as if the head of the institution has done something. Secondly, they felt that she cares. Thirdly, they felt that she has worked more than what we are working, because I promised them I will not ask any teacher to work even 1 hour more than what I work. That's a promise from my side. And so I'm happy that without much problems, we did manage to do a good job of it. First of all, you have a comfort zone for a X number, for decades. Now you want a paradigm shift is there, and this shift is very different from the one that has already been established, proved, tested. Here is a project about which nobody knows anything. So I realized that they were apprehensive, they were not into it. They were doing it because it has to be done. Now, if a thing has to be done because the top boss says it has to be done, results will never be good. How can I enthuse my staff to actually look forward to it? And then we had these little inter-class competitions also. So little play based on certain issues, had plays, it was enacted, assembly was there, all the other children were looking at it, watching it. And then the other thing I realized is, compliment your teacher a lot, because any change that comes, if you keep on criticizing, it will never see bear good results, fruitful results. So keep on patting them on their back, keep on saying that it's very good, however maybe we can do it like this, have a lot of informal interaction with them, where lots of other things came up, their grey areas came out, the areas where they were finding it difficult, so we tried to solve them. And in this way, we actually did a very good job. I do not believe in a dictatorial type of a leadership. I'm more of a person who's a very open person, and I believe if there is faith in the head of the institution, if there is a rapport there, if there is no communication gap, if you take their suggestions, so either convince or get convinced. If all these things are there and then you ask them to do, they actually do it not out of compulsion but out of care, and actually they want to do it. And whenever a thing is done as if it is being done by themselves, it is their decision, it is their thought process, the end result would always be better than when it is top down. There were basically three things that I did. The first thing was that we have a parent body, a parent association. So first thing was, and the parents are representing each class. So called the parent body, had an interaction with them, gave a briefing as to what is the new policy, tried to convince them, whatever apprehensions they had, we tried to resolve it, or go back to the CBSE, ask a few questions, do that. Second thing that we did was, we got a little workshop organized by the CBSE for the parents. So a few parents from my school represented Ramjas R.K. Puram. They went to CBSE where the people concerned were taking a workshop. They interacted and cleared their doubts, which they came back and conveyed to the other parents. The third thing is, which is very particular to my school. In our school, there are upper middle class parents. Their focus is only academics and results, and that their children should go into one or two professional colleges. The engineering, the medicine, the CAs and things like this. They do not give much significance or importance to the co-curricular activities because they feel that will not sort of pay rich dividends later on. Here I was making a complete 360-degree change wherein put in about 30-35 activities. The parents feel this is a waste of time. And to make them understand that this is not a waste of time, it is going to be helpful to the child in the holistic development of the child, needed a lot of persuasion and talk. And the other thing we did was to give a lot of incentives to the children in the form of certificates, in the form of medals, books. Then we've constituted 3 different trophies. One is an academic trophy, the other is a sports trophy, and the third is a co-curricular activity trophy. And it goes and divided the school into 4 houses. So let's see which house is best in co-curricular and things like that. So when I did this, and this trophy or these prizes were given at on the annual day, where all the 3,000-4,000 parents were sitting. So then my child got it. We have been recognized. That helped. And that made the other parents also want that their child should actually get these things. So these were certain things that we tried to do. Then we took out newsletters. Earlier we did not have a system of newsletter, it was just a magazine. So we took out newsletters, 2 newsletters in a year, talked about all the co-curricular activities that were being done, gave newspaper reports that came out in the newspapers with photographs of their children, and then the parents started feeling good about it. So this was in a way trying to make the parents aware, make the parents feel good, and indirectly actually making a shift, their mindset change was being tried out. So that's what I did. The other change that we did was the change in the school uniform, which was there for over a decade and a half. So took the children's viewpoints, then sent a circular to the parents, because this was going to be a major change, and the parents would generally apprehend, or sort of they would not like it rather. So then we sent a little circular to the parents asking their feedback. We got their feedback. Then we had a little talk with the parents, small groups. There were 2-3 things which came to my mind. First was, if I call all 2,000 parents of 2,000 children, that means 4,000 sort of mothers and fathers there, it will be as if you are forcing your views on the parents. They'll say, you have already decided, what's the point of telling us? Then they might resort to another system, that is go to the parent body, the representatives of the school, and they would make a hell. They will make their life hell and not accept, because they will feel that they have been marginalized, their views are not heard, things like this. So there is no point in getting into a conflict with the parents. It is a partnership. We are not at loggerheads with one another. So then we took smaller groups, showed them the design, asked them their views. Some said they don't want this color. And then what happens when you keep on talking? The important issue gets drowned and the insignificant issues take the upper hand. So they started talking about the color scheme and the design, and rather than whether it should be a skirt blouse or it should be a pant shirt, which was good for us. But they felt that they were involved. It is they are involved in it, and it is a decision which has been taken by all of them, or actually most of them. And this is how we did it. And also the feedback. So when we are taking a feedback, we are taking it from them in writing. Then we are taking it in writing from the children. What is it that you want? Do you want it? You don't want it. Now when the children want a skirt blouse and the parents say no, what happens? It is the parent and the child. They are the ones who are talking to one another, and the child is trying to convince the parents, which in a way helps us also. Because it is actually the children who want it. So these things actually helped, and it was a beautiful transition. We worked for over a year and a half, close to 2 years. But then the change was made. So always one should know what is the change, how to go about that change, what are the positives and the negatives, do a pilot testing, critically analyze it, then go and implement it.
A principal's role is complex, but student learning must remain at the center. Teachers are not the only influence on student learning.